Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Weihrauch. And in today's episode, we're asking the question, how is World of Warcraft connected to Jesus? World of Warcraft is an online video game, in some ways, kind of the first major online video game. It just turned 20. I actually read about it this week in the New York Times. It's a fascinating story. It's an online kind of mythological medieval game where players band together to clear out dungeons and face monsters and advance their army and their kingdom over and against their enemies. It's also a massive industry. Listen, I don't know if you have experience with World of Warcraft, but you need to know this, even if you don't know video games. There are millions of monthly subscribers. It actually has generated billions of dollars. That's like Dr. Evil with a B, billions of dollars from World of Warcraft. It is a subculture unto itself. It's been featured in movies and television shows. Celebrities are known to play it. Henry Cavill, who's Superman, Aubrey Plaza from Parks and Rec, Vin Diesel from Fast and Furious movies are all known celebrity players of World of Warcraft. In fact, Henry Cavill tells the story that he actually almost missed the call for getting the part of Superman because he was in a very intense dungeon battle as his World of Warcraft character. It is a world unto itself, and it is 20 years old. So anytime I read about a subculture like that, what I try to ask myself as kind of a theologian is, what is this teaching me about people, and what is this teaching me about the God whose image those people are made in? And so with World of Warcraft turning 20, I want to just point out 4 things I think it teaches us about people and then the God who made them. The first is that God made people for community. We are not designed to do life alone. We are happiest and most fulfilled when we are engaged with other people in some kind of activity. The Bible makes this point time and time again, most concretely in Genesis 2, when God looks at Adam existing in the perfect world that he's made, and he says, hey, it's not good for Adam to be alone. What God is really saying is that it's almost impossible to image a God who is 3 in 1 on your own, because you can't image a community God on your own. It takes community to do that. It's also true that God has given us big things to accomplish in the world that we accomplish best together. You were made for community. Maybe you already know that, or maybe you've been ducking it for a while, but you shouldn't be ducking it any longer. World of Warcraft shows us that people even go to an online video game to find it if that's where they can find it. The second thing that World of Warcraft teaches us is that we were made for purpose. The interesting thing about World of Warcraft is it is a video game where you are constantly setting out to do something, to achieve something, to move the needle, to shape the video game universe. You are fighting in wars. You are waging battle to accomplish good and to defeat evil. And these things resonate with us because we are world shapers. That's who we were made to be. And we settle for too little of that in life. If you feel like life is losing purpose, if you feel like you can't find it in your work or your family, then you'll go to an online video game to get it, because you're never going to be happy until you feel like your life matters. Of course, the Bible offers that in the kingdom of Jesus advancing, that we are meant to use our gifts and use our talents so that more and more people come to know Jesus and grow as disciples in him. The third thing it teaches us is that we were made for adventure. Listen, people don't get on World of Warcraft to be a character who sits in a cubicle all day. That's because we were made for something more than that. Look, the Bible is an adventure. It begins in a garden and it ends in a city. There are wars, there are battles, there are bad guys, there are good guys, there are plots and schemes and all kinds of things going on. That's human life. We were made for adventure. It's why these epic stories resonate with us. And if your life feels adventureless, you could go to an online video game to find it, or you could go to the God who said that one day there'll be people from every tribe and tongue, in nation, in heaven. And yet now, currently, there are like 2 billion people who've never even heard of Jesus. That's an adventure to give your money to give your time to give your life to. And the fourth thing World of Warcraft teaches us is that we were made for accomplishment. God has never wanted to waste our lives. God calls us to be fruitful and multiply, to shape the earth, to fill it, to have dominion over it. One of the reasons people like World of Warcraft is because at the end of an epic battle, they can look back and say, look what we did. It's the same feeling that you get when you look at the lawn you just mowed, or the thing you just built, or the problem you just solved. We were made for accomplishment. And if you feel like you aren't finding that in life, you'll never ultimately be fulfilled. But you don't need to go to video game achievements to find that. You can find that by doing the work God has called us to do as a local church. Listen, I don't think video games are bad, and I don't think it's bad if you play World of Warcraft. But if that's the only place you're finding your adventure and your purpose and your community and your achievement, you are settling for a life that is far too thin. You were made for battle, but a real spiritual battle, not an online one. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. While you're here, we'd love to ask you to hit subscribe or to like so you get future content. If you listen to the audio version too, make sure you leave a review and a comment. That really helps. Consider sharing it on social media and helping us get the word out. And hey, while you're here, check out all the other content that Christ Community Chapel is putting out, including the videos that are around me right now.